The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What the fuck are we gonna do now? Get high. Well, hell yeah. We're back. Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Toking With. Like I said last week, I took over the role of monkey behind the keyboard. Go ahead and say it, Jeff. He's more like an ape on a banana.
I'm not going to say it.
Oh.
No, I wouldn't do that. No.
Just once?
I'm going to be nice to you. I'm going to be nice to you tonight.
Uh-oh, I'm in fucking trouble.
Yeah, that should scare the fuck out of you right there.
a little bit, yeah. See everybody jumping off the ship already? We'll get into that backdrop in a few minutes, folks. But with us tonight, filling in for Jar Jar, who is on an extended leave of absence till further notice. We wish him well and hope everything is going well for him. But kicking it with us tonight is our man Jags.
What up?
How you doing, brother?
Chilling. I'm just kicking it.
I see that.
Like the neon green you got going on there tonight.
I just felt like green. It's just my thing. I look good in green.
You do.
I do. I like it. I feel sexy in the green.
I wouldn't go that
Wow.
far.
Okay. Yeah.
Wouldn't go that far. Wouldn't go that far. But so yeah,
Wow.
that voice you're hearing in your head is always Mr. Jeff.
Yeah. Don't let me get into your head. I'll never leave.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. No. 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 I'm looking forward to tonight. You know, I was doing a little bit of research, like I always do. At least I try to do.
Right.
And you know, it brought back a lot of memories from my childhood. And I started to get scared, actually. You know, I remember as a little kid, my dad reading some of these things to me, and now I guess this, you know, our guest is taking this to another level, or actually displaying some of the truth behind some of these stories, from what I understand. But let's bring John Paizis right in here, and he can explain it all for us.
Welcome
Hey,
to the
guys.
show, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, you guys, you already win the award for the best opening I've seen in a podcast. So
Excellent.
Congratulations on that. That rocked, man.
We'll give that up to Leo Pond, the producer of the Dorkening Podcast Network. And he's usually the monkey behind the keyboard, but another one that's taken an extended leave of absence from a lot of shows this year due to personal reasons and buying houses and all
Yeah,
that.
just a lot going on. You know,
Right.
a lot going on.
all that adult shit, right?
Yeah, all that
it-
adult
literally
shit.
all that adult shit. Kind of like what we're going to get into tonight. Some of that adult stuff. So, like I said, welcome to the show, and yeah, let's get this thing rolling.
Let's do it.
So
Let's do it.
let's talk real quick about the backdrop I have here. This is actually some of the artwork, if I'm not mistaken, from the upcoming book, Mother Goose Reanimated.
Yes, it is indeed. And we already released. You know, we
It
are
is released, yep.
yeah, we're available on Amazon now. So you know, we'll put those plugs in later on. But you know, this is one of 12 reimagined nursery rhymes from the Mother Goose collection. And as you know, these original Mother Goose rhymes were you know, things that were passed down, you know, generation after generation. And these things are hundreds of years old.
Right.
And so who knows how they have morphed in those hundreds of years, being, you know, passed along as, you know, as verbal communication and then put into songs, many of them. And we really wanted, as an organization, Performing Arts Studio West is our studio, and
Right.
for your listeners and watchers, we work with adults with developmental and intellectual and physical disabilities. We've been around for 26 years. Thank you. We teach acting, music, and dance. We do original productions, live productions. We've done film, we've done theater, we've done small intimate things, we've done huge, you know, musical productions with over 80 people in the cast. And one of the things that a web series, we've done a ton of stuff. Wow. And we wanted to really do something that was different, that we hadn't gotten into, because, you know, we also have a talent management division, and our guys have been, between our original productions and everything in the entertainment industry, our guys have been cast in over 3,000 roles in the past 26 years. And we wanted to do something different. We wanted to figure out something. What haven't we done? What haven't we done? Right. And we really hadn't done any print work, any original print work projects. And we thought, well, what's an interesting way to teach those kind of skills, and something we can do completely in-house, and then invite our celebrity friends to join us on. And we came up with the idea of reanimating, in terms of bringing something dead back to life, like the old Mary Shelley Frankenstein thing. We're reanimating dead stories and dead rhymes that, you know, some people probably haven't even thought about for years. And how can we look at those with a modern lens and put a twist on them that sends them to, you know, the reader to a place that they wouldn't have expected when picking up the book.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I think that, I mean, like you said, these are, you know, hundreds of years old, probably. You know, from what I read, Mother Goose actually originated in the Boston area, correct?
You know, it's so ambiguous. You know, some people think, you know, it's a piece of Americana. Other people think it's, you know, in the British Isles. I've heard, you know, people thinking or theories that they were Dutch. So Who really
So
knows?
who really knows?
Who
Yeah.
really knows?
They're
Over the
always
years,
trying
they've
to
been
steal
changing,
our
yeah.
shit. Come on, man. They're always trying to steal it.
You know, I mean, you know, I guess that, you know, Boston would just make sense. It's one of the oldest, one of the oldest places in the country. So,
Hey, listen, man, we gave
you
them
know,
back the tea. What else do they
Yeah,
want?
yeah. Just threw it right back at him.
Right back. No, just
you know what I mean?
right off
So
the
they,
tracks.
you know, they decided to give us the goose.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
We've been goosed.
I do want to ask,
Sure.
what you've been doing the Performing Arts Studio West, like you said, now for 26 years.
26 years, yeah.
Wow.
What got you involved with that type of theater?
Right.
With helping folks with, you know, folks with disabilities, whatever form they are. What got you involved with that?
Well, you know, I've been an actor and a singer and a dancer and musician since I was about 15 years old. And so, you know, I've done a lot of things. I've done a lot of theater. I was in rock bands. I've, you know, done, you know, film, did a little bit of television, a lot of theater, a lot of plays and stuff. And when I moved to Los Angeles, I'm originally from the Bay Area, from Northern California, and moved to New York to go to acting school. And then when I came back from New York to Los Angeles, that's when I was in a band with my brother, and we were kicking around the Sunset Strip for 5 years, trying to, you know, make something happen and knocking our brains out and having every bit of fun that you could have back in the early 80s, which was a lot of fun, actually. And my day job was working with adults with autism. My mom is a special education teacher, so I was used to being around the population, and it was something that was just a very comfortable fit for me. And I had done a little bit of teaching assistant work up in the Bay Area, in Silicon Valley area, and so it was a perfect fit. And working with this population, I was at an agency called the Brentwood Center for Educational Therapy for 17 years. I started as a classroom instructor, ended up as an associate director. And that whole time I was in bands and getting my theater career and my acting career back up and running again. And I just found it, I found it so goddamn fascinating working with these guys. And we were all, the funny thing is we were all around the same age. And these were some guys that were really, really seriously impacted by their autism. You know, we're not talking about, you know, people that were genius in one area and very, very functional. You know, these were guys that needed a lot of support and a lot of assistance. And I found the system at the time really dispassionate and uncreative. And I'm just going, God damn, you know, what can I do to bring some light and some passion and some energy into these guys' lives? And so because I was a musician, I would bring my guitar into the classroom. You know, we had a piano in the classroom. I was always role playing with these guys. And I really saw guys that were very disconnected, all of a sudden just focusing in on something and relating to something, you know, whatever that might have been. You know, it might have been a line from a Frank Sinatra song that their parents had played when they were kids or something, or a piece of pop music from the late 50s or early 60s. And all of a sudden the light would go on in them. And I said, well, this is some just kind of file in the back of my head. And so when that agency closed in 1997, you know, I found myself unemployed.
Right.
And I'm saying, okay, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do here? Okay. I know about working with adults with disabilities, and I know some things about the entertainment industry. And what if we just crash those two worlds into each other and see if we could, you know, make something happen? So I went to one of our local funding sources here in the greater Los Angeles area, and I said, what would you guys think of a performing arts program for adults with disabilities where we teach them, you know, these skills in acting and music and dance, which also augments your normal types of skills that you need to get along in this world: communication skills, listening skills, you know, chaining things together in some kind of an order. And, you know, they took the bait on that. They gave me a little grant. And I started off as the sole instructor for this program, working with 6 people with disabilities. And as we grew and grew and grew, and, you know, now we're working with about 80 individuals with disabilities and creating original projects. like Mother Goose Reanimated, and we've done so much. So that's it's kind of a long explanation to a simple question.
No,
but,
no, it's actually
but-
it's the perfect explanation.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all in the details.
well,
Yeah, there you go.
right. Yeah, I mean, if you summed it up in like 3 words, people wouldn't have been able to, first of all, see the passion that you have for it, and the listeners later wouldn't have been able to hear the passion that you have for it.
Well,
You know, and the reason I asked that question is, you know, I have children. My youngest daughter went to school for early childcare with disabilities.
oh, okay.
So she's in that field as well. And then Jeff and I did a little work with the Prospect Theater in Connecticut, which is a theater similar to what you do.
Okay.
With children and adults with disabilities. It's a movie theater that's run by a lot of people with disabilities, and it's an amazing, like you said, you know.
Yeah, the experience was fantastic when we went.
It
there.
was amazing.
Give me the name again. Prospect Theater. I want to look them up afterwards.
Yeah, the Prospect Theater.
Okay. And that's in
It's
Connecticut?
in Connecticut, yes. Okay. I can't remember exactly what town, so forgive me. But what they did is the owner bought an old theater, and they run various movies and things there. But 90% of the people that are there working are adults with disabilities.
That's awesome.
So they have come up with their own line of popcorn. They have like their own line of maple syrups. It's just an amazing thing.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
And
what a great a great concept. You know, that's a great concept because, you know, a lot of people say, oh, we're going to open up a little, you know, a cafe or a coffee shop or something like that. But to put it into that kind of a venue and have that kind of experience, that's amazing. I love that.
Right. You know, and
yeah, they do a great job too. I mean, it's not your typical theater.
No,
you know, it's just not it's very artsy.
Do they show those kind of art films or, you know, cult classic kind of stuff? Is that the vibe?
They show all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. You know, they might do like a Back to the Future weekend. You know, they've actually had some celebrities stop through when they were playing the celebrities film.
Right. Nice.
And just sit in the crowd with actual, you know, the crowd. And it's an amazing thing. So when this was first pitched to me, being the guy that does the booking for our show, the first thing I saw was the adults with disabilities, and I said, I don't even give a shit what he's doing.
Right.
Honestly,
well, we had him in a chain gang until just a couple of years ago. But
right. I wanted to ask you about, you know, you said you got your initial grant. Now 26 years later, how are you funded? Is it, you know, you still getting grants?
No, it's mostly through strictly through the state of California, through the Department of Developmental Services and the Department of Social Services. Okay. And so, you know, we get paid like a school gets paid, you know, by attendance. You know, the number of people we have, we get a certain rate, you know, per individual per day. So we got to keep those numbers up. We got to keep them interested. We got to keep them, you know, fascinated with things. And that's why we really try to come up with things that are, you know, different, intriguing, and something they can sink their teeth into, and something that they can show their friends. You know, it's like we're very product oriented. Like I said, we've done web series, and we finish up a web series, and bam, you know, there it is. It's up online. You know, they can show your friends. There I am playing this character. We're working on a film right now, a short film called the Last Great Holiday Show, about a theater, you know, a local theater in an actual town, was just called Slick Poo, Idaho. All right. I thought the guy who was writing this, who was making this shit up, I said, nobody's going to buy that. And then I put it in the search. It's a real place. So Slick Poo, Idaho. And it's a theater that's like on the verge of going under. So they have to come up with this one great holiday show to keep things going and to keep the funds coming in. And we have such a creative staff. You know, not only are our, you know, participants, you know, our clients, you know, extremely talented and funny and wonderful, but man, do we got a talented staff of professionals that, you know, we've created this artistic family that just it's such a joy. And as I'm sure every one of you guys know, when you find like-minded people that have a passion for something that they all share, and then can take, you know, the skills that we have learned as professionals over the years and share those with people that are hungry. And I always think of our participants like sponges. It's like, they may come in the morning and they're kind of dried up and, don't got much going on. And here we go, drip, drip, drip. We're writing a song today, guys. Drip, drip. Hey, we're doing arrangements. Or hey, guys, here are the sides for the stuff that we're going to be shooting today for the film. And you just see them filling up and filling up and filling up. And that's very satisfying, I have to say.
That's
nice.
Awesome.
Now, did they all work on the writing and the artwork as well in the book?
We had some people that really, really contributed, and I'll give you a great example. The Cat and the Fiddle, which is familiar to just about everyone. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, the little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. And our first thought, we would sit down with the production team and first, how do we choose these rhymes? Oh, we want to get something that's visual. We want to get something that is familiar, but we can take in a direction, again, like I said before, where people may not have expected. And our first concept for the Cat and the Fiddle, we're thinking, hey, a cat, that's kind of cool, cat, And so we thought, hey, how about a Rat Pack era Hollywood Hills pool party? And we're going, oh, that could be cool. So yeah, let's play around with that concept. And we beat that thing to death, and we couldn't get it to gel. And we had one of our participants, a young woman on the autism spectrum, real goth looking chick, man. She was so cool in her early 20s, but black pixie hair, kind of spiky down here and stuff, always dressed in black. She weighed about 90 pounds, and she was very hip with the way she dressed. Her name was Raven, and she was an aspiring visual artist. And she's sitting in the production office with us, and she's going, guys, she said, the dish ran away with the spoon. She goes, what if you made the dish a flying saucer? And that would be the dish. And we said, God damn, Raven. I said, that's a great idea. So now the Cat and the Fiddle has turned into a story of alien abduction. And we see, how about that? So we see
It works.
I love it.
It does work. So we see a junk man, and we're probably late 60s, early 70s, we put this era in. And the illustration is of a junk man driving in his truck, and he's looking out the window, and he sees all the stuff that's being lifted out of the back of his truck. You see the cat. The cat is like one of those old Felix the cat kitchen clocks. You remember them with the eyes that go back and forth? So that's the cat. You see an old violin getting lifted up into the rays, into the spaceship, into the UFO. You see silverware. So there's the spoon. You see in the background there's a field, and there's a cow being lifted up out of a field. So the cow is being lifted up, and it looks like it's jumping over the moon. And you see a silo and a barn being torn up, and the frightened face of the truck driver, and his little dog who laughed is also being sucked up, and he's trying to reach up and keep them from being abducted also by the aliens. So, hey, why not, right?
Wow.
I mean, shit.
I love it. Yeah. So now you said
I kind of want to buy the book just so I can see all the cool.
Oh, man. Hey, yeah. Hey,
now,
you know what? Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
I was going to say there's tons of Mother Goose rhymes and stories and such. How did you narrow that down to pick? What'd you pick? What'd you say? 12?
12.
14?
Yeah, there's 12 rhymes. And that's a great question. And I'll allude a little bit back to what I said previously. We wanted most of them to be rhymes that people were familiar with, like Humpty Dumpty, or there was an old woman who lived in a shoe, or Old King Cole was a merry old soul. Right. So familiarity was one of the criterion. We did bring some in that were a little less familiar. Maybe more, cool. Yeah, but cool, and maybe more so to me because I'm a little bit older than some of the guys on our team, and it's sad to think that some of these rhymes have faded over the years. I don't know now. Do parents sit down? Do moms sit down and read Mother Goose rhymes to kids anymore? I don't know. With everything else that is out there, but that's one of the reasons too that we wanted to bring this shit back, because if it wasn't something that people were familiar with, it is something that they should be familiar with. Because Jeff, what you had said earlier too about these rhymes, who knows what they really evolved from, and a lot of them were very dark and were a commentary on on social issues, on religion, on class structure.
Yep.
And we just really found that we wanted to grab ones that were familiar, but something that we could do something really visual with.
So I don't think growing up, my parents never read that shit to me. Never.
It shows.
And that's what made you the man you are, Jags.
Yeah, I'm just like, I have no idea what they're talking about, but I'm
Right.
with it.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember my dad pulling that book out. I mean, that thing was, I mean, that was a big ass book.
That was a big book. I remember him pulling him out and whacking me with it too. I mean,
that too, but you know.
And and even at that early age, guys, and I mentioned this in the forward in the introduction to the book too, is that even as a kid, there were some that were just like, oh, that's cute, and there were some that were like, oh, that's a little bit
what
creepy.
Was that?
What is that even about? And
Edgar Allan Poe wrote that one, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Somebody was buried in a wall, bricked up behind a wall.
The only thing I ever remember is going into class. I think it was my senior year in high school, and we were talking about, it was in drama class, and they were talking about where the whole ring around the rosy came from. And it was
Black Plague, right? Didn't have to do with the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, once they explained it, I was like, oh shit, that is fucked up.
And a lot of these things are really messed up. They are really messed up.
yeah.
Which makes it that's much more fun.
Right. To our viewers and listeners, if you want to know more about John, Mother Goose Reanimated, the book, links to the book, check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Everything is in there.
Beautiful. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I really do encourage people, man, with Halloween coming, it's a great, it's a great tie into Halloween with the holidays coming.
Hey, man, Christmas is coming.
Yeah. This is a 187 page full color book. And, it comes in hardcover, it comes in soft cover. There's a Kindle version for those who, and a lot of people, the Kindle version is amazing too, guys, because, you load this onto your computer, you got it there forever. You can just zoom in on shit and really take a deep dive into the detail of each one of these illustrations. And, one of the other things it has too, it has tons of behind the scenes production photos. So you get an idea of not only, the passion that was involved in putting this project together, but also the detail and the coordination and the production values and the costumes and the props and the makeup and everything that goes with it. And my cat is meowing. I don't know if you can hear her, but it's almost dinner time.
Oh, it's your cat? I thought it was mine.
It's the cat and the fiddle.
Right, I kept looking down. I'm going, what do these two want now? Yeah. I just met them.
Now, have you considered it, or are you planning on doing an audio version?
Yes, yeah, that's something that we're looking at for 2025. We're going to get through the holidays, track the sales and stuff like that. But yes, an audio version. We're looking at
that could be creepy.
Oh yeah, and we have each one of the celebrities that was involved in this did a verbal rendition of their original rhyme too, of the original Mother Goose rhyme. And that's one of the other things that I think is great about the book, is we juxtapose traditional style illustrations with the reanimated versions that we came up with. And those illustrations, those original style illustrations, were done by an artist on the autism spectrum, who is an animator, a brilliant animator, and a brilliant illustrator. Her name is Rachel Capito, and we found her through one of our staff people. She had done illustrations for a kid's book that they were working on. And that was the last piece of this puzzle that we were trying to put together, because this took 10 years, guys. It took us 10 years to put this together, because we're a small team. We're not a huge production team. You got 40 guys working in different departments. It's basically 4 or 5 of us, putting this whole thing together and coordinating. So excuse me. So that's just another wonderful thing to delve into when people are looking at the book, and it's got something for everybody.
Yeah, and it does. I mean, I actually have a sizzler reel that was sent to us.
Okay.
Would you like me to play that?
I would love for you to play. Yeah.
Give the folks a little insight into what we're talking about here. All right. So here we go, folks. This is a sizzler reel for Mother Goose Reanimated.
How did we perceive nursery rhymes when we were children? It doesn't really matter. We're not children anymore. Welcome to the world of Mother Goose Reanimated.
See, fucking creepy.
Woo! Fun,
and there you go, folks. I mean, that's just a little taste of what we're talking about this evening. In that sizzler reel, we saw a lot of names associated with this.
Yeah, we've had some wonderful people who have become friends over the years through through projects that we've worked on. You saw Deborah Wilson in there from Mad TV, and she does so many video games. Batman: The Enemy Within, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and she's the new voice of Ursula the Sea Witch for the new Disney projects that are coming up since the passing of Pat Carroll. Matt Frazier from American Horror Story Freak Show, and he was also on the new Netflix series Chaos with Jeff Goldblum. He's done Loudermilk. He's done so much stuff. Naomi Grossman, from American Horror Story. Jamie Brewer from American Horror Story. So we got a trifecta of American Horror Story people. Mindy Sterling from the Austin Powers franchise, and the Goldbergs, who's just hysterical. We just did a podcast with Mindy and Deborah last night. That was just so much fun. Beautiful Jade Taylor from The Magicians. Stunning actress. Beautiful actress and stunt person, Eli Jane. Kurt Yeager, an actor with a disability from Sons of Anarchy and Tell Me a Story, and Quarry, where he is just badass. Badass.
Right.
Oh, and yes, and and one of the other things that we worked with it was so great how we met Mindy. All right, Mindy Sterling. All right, we were doing a film with one of our guys, and my wife was feeding me information as what was that, dear?
She's holding the teleprompter.
Yeah, no, she should be holding a teleprompter because I can't hear a dang word she's saying. But anyway, so we're meeting people through different projects, and then once we had met Mindy, then through a film we were doing called Any Day Now with Tony Award winner Alan Cumming, and then we did 2 years with her on a Jim Jeffries show called Legit, which was super funny, edgy. We had a guy on that show as a series regular for 2 years, and they probably used 10 to 15 of our actors with disabilities over the years. So as we meet people and we bring them into the studio, we have a program called Meet the Biz, where industry people come in and they talk about their careers, they answer questions, we do a Q&A, they do some improv work and some stuff. But we've met so many wonderful people, and that's part of the magic of this book is bringing our community together. And 90% of the people involved in this project, creators, actors, and our guys, 90% of them identify as someone with a disability. So that just really shows the talent and everything that goes along with making making this something that is special. One quick little thing, because you had the mermaid thing up earlier, Ben, is when we were looking, trying to get the idea for this, and we thought, mermaids would be cool. Pretty maids all in a row. That's Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row. And we thought, maids, mermaids. All right. Who have we met? We had become acquainted over the years with 4 gorgeous actors and models who were either quadriplegic or paraplegic. And in talking with them, we said, would this be something you guys would be into doing? And more than one of them mentioned, after my injury, after my spinal injury, I would envision myself as a mermaid, because here I was, this, beautiful woman, gorgeous faces, long flowing hair, but could not walk. And so many of them related to the Little Mermaid story, or just mermaids in general. And to find that kind of commitment and enthusiasm from, these talented and beautiful people that we're working with, really, really, it's just putting candles on this cake.
Right.
Well,
that's amazing. It's always the mermaids, Jeff. You notice that?
Well, yeah. I mean,
we can blame the mermaids for starting the show. Literally, we can literally blame the mermaids starting the show
5 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Fill me in on that. What was that? I don't want to know. Jags said, no, you don't want to know, dude.
It was right at the end of 2019. Jeff and I were on the circuit, doing Comic-Cons because of what we created. Mm-hmm. We're in the cannabis industry, the comic industry, entertainment, horror. Shit, we've even done music festivals.
Beautiful.
But anyway, we were at an event, and we're friends with a gentleman by the name of Philo Barnhart. So Philo Barnhart is the creator of The Little Mermaid for Disney. He was a second generation Disney legend. His parents worked for Disney. He was the little boy in Mary Poppins flying the kite with his father.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, we were chatting, and he was a little down, and I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "It's the 30th anniversary for The Little Mermaid and the 40th anniversary of Star Trek, which he had also worked on." And so I looked at Jeff and I said, "We're going to do a live show with him." And Jeff's like, "No."
Yeah, I wanted no part of it.
No way. We are not. No, we're not doing. I'm like, "No, we're doing this for Philo because somebody of that caliber deserves the recognition. So let's do this." And we ended up doing our first show with Philo, which was a good show in 2019. Yep. It was the only show.
He drew a was it 11 by 17 print that day.
Yeah, during the show.
Wow. And sold it.
Yeah, and we sold it off at the end of the show for him. Yeah. But that's how this show started. And here we are 5 years later, going into our 6th season, and the guests are amazing. It's that damn mermaid.
That's a great story, dude. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Yeah. If can I go over some of the other rhymes and let you guys know how we've twisted these things and what
that's what I want to know.
What they have morphed into. Let me get out my notes, gentlemen, because I don't want to miss anything here. All right, Little Bo Peep. We're all familiar with Little Bo Peep as lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone and they'll come home wagging their tails behind them. So in our version, Little Bo Peep is now a World War II B-17 nose art pinup girl, and she is standing on a hillside. She is standing on a hillside as the plane that her image is emblazoned on has been shot down above Germany, and you see the crew parachuting out of the flaming plane, but the crew are sheep, which kind of makes a comment on war and people that are drawn into war and what can happen to those people. And our model for that was a beautiful young lady named Tiana that is on the autism spectrum. She's now into doing animation on her own with a group of very talented people.
Now I know how your mind works.
Yeah,
pin-up girls, mermaids.
Oh, I go everywhere. And we'll get to the psychedelic stuff in a little bit. But okay, so that's the twist we took on Little Bo Peep. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. In our version, and these versions also include alternative storylines and alternative prose. So there's an explanation and a storyline behind each one of the new illustrations. So Humpty Dumpty is now a patient who's confined to a 19th century insane asylum, and that is because he was always odd as a boy. He's always picked on a boy. He was beaten as a boy. He was abused as a boy, and his mind just cracked, and he ended up in this asylum. And the illustration is him sitting on the floor in a padded cell in a straitjacket with rats crawling on his feet, and he's just staring straight ahead. And all the king's horses and all the king's men are his champions and his protectors that he has conjured up in his mind to keep him safe against the abuse that he suffers. And so you see these 5 mounted knights from the medieval area. And so that is a dark, it's one of my favorite ones because it's just so dark and so twisted. Little Miss Muffet is now a 1960s psychedelic pop artist who paints better when she's using psychedelics. But then again, who doesn't?
What did she sit on?
You saw Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Okay, with the mermaids. The old woman who lives in a shoe is now an owner and overseer in a future dystopian society shoe factory, where she keeps all her indentured servants under control by using drugs to keep them zombified and working for her to produce thousands and thousands and thousands of shoes on a regular basis. That's the one Mindy Sterling is, and it's just it's gorgeous. That one has, I think, 25 extras we had in this, and we shot these guys out, and a lot of them were wheelchair users, some people with cerebral palsy, all different kinds of individuals. But the way that people are featured in this, disability is not the deal. They could just be anyone. They are a character in this storyline, disability notwithstanding. Right. Old King Cole, which you got behind you right there now, with the beautiful Jade Taylor and Mark Povinelli and Nick Novicki, who are wonderful actors, little persons who have had great careers. So Cole is now a heroin-addicted jazz musician in the early 1960s, and why not, right? Why not? And it's listen, it's a part of this thing too. It's the human condition. No matter what era these are set in or what types of characters, each one of them speaks to a very, very human emotion or a human condition that people are familiar with. So that's just a little bit more insight into where these rhymes go.
Wow.
I think he reiterated on those rhymes because he wanted Jags to feel like he was part of the show.
Yeah. So Jags, you remember that one from back in the day there, right? No? Okay.
Sure.
That's right.
I'm going. Absolutely.
No, know nothing about that. Okay.
Wow.
So
I just want to ask, this may be a weird question, but I wanted your take on what these film producers have been doing lately, taking classic cartoon characters and such and creating horror flicks out of them.
Okay, give me an example of one thing you're talking about, and I'll see if I can.
Winnie the Pooh.
Blood and Honey.
Winnie the Pooh.
That's a Winnie the Pooh thing.
Yeah.
Twisted, but there's an audience for that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm one.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's something. Listen, there's something for everybody out there, and I mean, Comic-Con is a great example of that. You go. We were just there a couple of weekends ago, and it's 127,000 people in 3 days, and there is such a wide range of interests and strange people and regular people, and we found it fascinating. Gosh, I mean, the cosplay contest they had, first prize $10,000, you guys. Wow. $10,000 for first prize, second prize $7,000. But then you think people put a year of their lives into creating these characters and these costumes, and they devote so much of their creativity to this, and why not? It's a valid and creative and an amazing way to channel your energy and your creativity.
So have you gotten any negative feedback? I mean, how could you take a nursery rhyme like that and make it so dark?
Okay, I'll give you one. And again,
So that's a yes.
we won this person over. I will give you that. But one of our moms, okay, the mother of one of our participants, and she was one of the background people, and there was an old woman who lives in a shoe. Okay, and Mindy Sterling as the old woman in the shoe, she has one of her captives by the hair, and then she's holding a cat of nine tails, and she's getting ready to clobber another guy who's cowering like this. And then you see all the other employees or all the other indentured servants in this factory are sitting around watching this. And so we were showing this rhyme to one of the moms, and she's going, "Oh," she goes, that's a little bit dark and a little bit frightening." And I just kind of winked at her and I said, "Yeah." I said, "It is." And she goes, "Well, do you think that this is appropriate for this population?" And I said, "Look, it's everyone's choice. We're going to offer this to people. And if they want to participate, great. If they don't want to, we understand." And not one of our participants said, "I don't want to do this." And when the book is now all together and it's in context with everything else, with the behind the scenes and how the production, how each one of the rhymes was developed and the illustrations were created, everybody now is just going unbelievable. But we do the same thing whenever we get auditions for our guys on a regular basis. Guys are going out all the time, and we give them a choice. Is this a project you think you can relate to? Is it too edgy? Is it too corny? Is it too childlike? We give them that choice as any actor or any adult. You're given opportunities in life, and you have that opportunity to say, yes, this is for me, or yes, this is not, or no, this is not for me. I hope that answered your question, Jeff.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm that guy. You ask me a question, I'm going to
go. No, I love it.
No, that's great. And that makes for a great show because we have to talk less.
So, tell me a little bit about, there's 200, I saw 293 episodes of this Meet the Biz.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. This was started even prior to him coming on staff as one of our acting teachers and coaches and industry liaisons. This was started years ago now by a gentleman named David Zimmerman. And I have to tell you guys, it was insane during the pandemic because he had a show every god dang day where he would go out and seek people from the industry. He did probably about 300 shows in a row without taking a break. And, interviewing, actors and directors and, set designers, every possible type of individual who would be involved in the industry, writers, producers, musicians, cabaret performers. And, I still am in awe of how David has these connections. And so that's been around for some time and continues to be an amazing part of what we have under the umbrella of Performing Arts Studio West. And some of these are in-house. They started in-house because before the pandemic we were fully open 5 days a week doing classes, doing productions and stuff. So we'd have the people come in. It switched to online. Now it's a blend between people coming in person and people doing them online as well on Zoom.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. I wanted to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
That side of things.
Yeah. And those are all. Oh my God, we have so many of those are up online. You just go to our YouTube channel, PASW TV, which has so much content. Not only those, but there's over 3,000 classes, instructional classes in music and production and acting and dance and movement and spoken word, all that kind of stuff. So tons of stuff.
Wow.
So what's next? You
Impressive.
fucked around with Mother Goose. You got to do it to Dr. Seuss.
Do it.
Horton
Dang, do it.
Horton hears a who and gets his sphincter.
That'd be like Horny
I don't
Horton.
know.
Here's a who.
Yeah, something.
Boy.
Well, well, as I said, we're working on a movie right now. We have huge plans to expand what we've really just started with Mother Goose Reanimated. I mean, we just released this thing in September. We're a month out, and we're already getting thanks to guys like you, we're getting a lot of traction on this stuff. We got a lot of interest, and there are some very ambitious and I think very achievable plans for 2025 that
I could see this being like a 2-season limited series.
Shorts. It'd be shorts.
Yeah, I could see it though. I really could.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
and we've, like I said, I can't remember if I said that on the air or not, or when we were talking a little bit before we opened up. But we've done a couple of live action short pieces. We did one to Diddle Diddle Dumpling. My son John went to bed with his trousers on. Take notes, Jags. Went to bed with his trousers. Went to bed with his trousers on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle Diddle Dumpling. My son John. And so we had become friends with an amazing talent. His name is Kurt Yeager. He was on Sons of Anarchy. He was on, I just don't want to miss it. Let me see. Tell Me a Story. He was on a series called Quarry. This guy is a badass, and he was a competitive BMX rider. Just super athlete, super athlete. Not related to his BMX work. He got in a motorcycle accident, years and years ago, and lost his left leg. So he's a below the knee amputee, and he spent almost a full year in and out of the hospital. Had I think over a dozen surgeries. But this guy now is, if you put the four of us together in a room, he could kick all our asses simultaneously. I mean, this guy is so tough and so talented. So my son John is now the story of a 1970s era Los Angeles detective who gets himself in trouble with the mob, and he is trying to find out how to extricate himself from this situation. So we did a short on that, which was just a little bit of a teaser. And then we did a short on Little Bo Peep too, that has the crew of the plane and them going down and the whole deal. So part of the thing we wanted to show the industry is we have the chops to be able to produce as well as creating something in a print form. We've done just about everything. So yeah,
fantastic.
So there you go.
So there
you go.
There you go.
And like I said earlier, folks, you can find out all this information in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. Yeah, I said it.
You did.
Twice.
Yes. Twice.
Well, we appreciate that. Yeah.
So I'm guessing the overall perception of this project has been extraordinarily good.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're just getting a ton of positive feedback because it's it's really unprecedented. It really is, and the depth that this goes into, and as I said before, it's got something for everybody. If you're a production designer, if you're an actor, if you're a prop person, if you're a wardrobe person, if you're an illustrator or an animator, it's got so much. And our artist who did the reanimated versions, Evan Rawl, this guy already has 25 books out of short stories with illustrations and stuff. And well, where was I going with that? All right, he already
that was a total squirrel.
That was a moment.
I will say when Ben first told me about you and Mother Goose Reanimated, I mean, obviously I had never heard of it. And the first thought that popped into my head was just some ass corny zombie thing about Mother Goose or something.
the first thing I thought of was, hey, everybody is dark and twisted at some point.
Yeah. You know, there's you know, I think you had shown the cover of the book. There's an alternative cover. There's one that we started off with that was literally showing the resurrection of Mother Goose. She was being, and we took it into we did an Americana version of this for sure. So she's in front of an old church on the countryside, and you got a couple of rednecks kind of watching this thing happening, and you have two of the preachers from the church are simultaneously baptizing her and shocking her corpse back to life with electric eels, one on each neck. And it's so stoned, you guys. It's so stoned and very frightening and very funny all at one time. And so that is now in the bonus material at the end of the book. We decided on a different cover just for a wider appeal. But you know, this has gone through so many iterations and reincarnations itself as we've been working on this thing for the past 10 years.
Wow.
That's pretty
impressive. Wild. I'm impressed.
That's pretty wild.
Thank you. And there's original music that goes with this that we're going to roll out. You know, Jeff, as you were saying, you know, perfect for an audio book. You know, we have you know, brilliant composers and rock musicians that are you know, part of our team at the studio, and so these things are backed by so much substance and so much good stuff that you know, we're just going to keep rolling out things a little bit at a time, you know, to keep the audience interested.
But will you be singing?
Am I singing on any of this stuff? No, I'm doing a lot of narration. I'm doing some narration, and you know, most of the music is more like you know, film scoring type of stuff.
Okay.
So not a lot of vocals with it, but just that.
Well, I brought that up because of your past with the music. You know, being the lead singer for Kid Twist and World Affairs back in the day. You know, not only that, you do a little bit of voice acting yourself.
I have. I've done stuff for video games.
And I hear through the grapevine, this is the grapevine, that you actually did some stand-up comedy.
I did some comedy. You know, when I moved back to New York, you know, and I was,
dark comedy. I bet
I was a kid. Back then, you know, and I would do the open mic nights and stuff, you know, and then I did the same thing when I came back out to LA again, and although I enjoyed writing, you know, and I enjoyed, you know, coming up with the material and coming up with the sets, that just was not. It wasn't the vibe for me, you know. That kind of club, you know, that kind of club scene, and that kind of, you know, what you have to do to really, really, you know, get some notoriety in that field. You know, it's just like anything else. You got to beat your goddamn brains in to make something happen. But yes, I did a little bit of that as well.
Right. So fun to experience, but not something you want to fully delve into.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a perfect way of putting it.
Kind of like this show sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of that over the years, actually. This sounds like fun. Yeah, it was fun. I'm not.
Yeah, it was fun. But hey, well, you know, listen, it's an education, and everything goes into this, you know, this bowl of experience that then you can just draw from when you need it. You know, I've done a little bit of that. I've done a little bit of this. I've succeeded in this. I've failed in that. But it's all part of, you know, the fabric that makes up who we are, right?
Exactly.
Well said.
Well, thank you, sir.
And you tap into all of that as you proceed in life.
We do. Yeah, we sure do.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or is that everything that flashes before your eyes, right before the lights?
Well, it's even, you know, I mean, 45 years ago, you do something, and like yesterday, it's like, oh no, I already did that. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Lessons learned.
Yeah. Right. But you still stick your tongue on the light socket. So what's the point?
Yeah,
I use my finger now.
Oh,
why don't you just fucking just do it with the fork and just get it over with?
Yeah,
right.
Take off the rubber-soled shoes and stick the fork in the socket.
Stand in a bucket of water. You'll be fine.
Sure.
You'll be fine. It only hurts for a minute.
Yeah. You don't change the light bulb in the shower when it's on.
However you want to do it, whatever does the job quicker, I guess.
Right.
Well, it's a good wake me up.
That is shocking, to say the least.
But
I'm just not going to go there. So we are getting close to time. So, Jags, seeing how you've talked so much tonight, Do you have any questions for our amazing guest, or a last question?
I don't think I've learned a shit ton during this show that I had
great.
no idea about. So it was worth the learning experience.
Jax is gonna call me tomorrow and be like, "Dude, I went out and bought that fucking book. Holy shit!"
I'll tell you, Jags. One thing that would just flip you out is in our Jack and Jill, the actress who plays Old Dame Dobb, who we turned into this kind of shaman, mysterious shaman, Deborah Wilson. If you take a look at, she is inked everywhere on her entire body, and she is a gorgeous, gorgeous African American chick. You know, shaved head. She's got the ear things. Yeah, she's got that going. But she brought this stunning array of real tattoos that we exposed to advantage of the book, advantage to her. It's beautiful. I mean, you would love it.
I'm definitely interested in just Naomi Grossman because I've met her so many flipping times because I've acted. I used to do indie horror films a lot, and I've done a lot of Comic Cons, and I've ran into her 50 bajillion times, and she was amazing.
It's on the screen right now for you.
She
Jack.
is amazing. Yeah. Yes, there you go. So far screen right is the finished version. All the way on the left, there we are working with Deborah, and you see some of our participants, and we would use each one of these photo shoots, guys, as a learning situation for our guys too, because we knew that almost every one of them was going to be involved in one of the illustrations or another. So there's constant learning going on.
Right.
Wow, that's fantastic.
It is. Jeffrey, any last questions?
Yeah, I always have two. Yeah, I'm going to shake it up a little bit.
I know.
Because I know you're a cat guy, because I heard your cat was hungry, so I'm not going to ask that question. So my first question is, what do you like on your pizza?
What I've been into lately is, you guys are going to kill me for this because it's so fucking California. Chicken, red onions, and arugula. If I'm going, I know. If I'm going traditional, sausage and mushroom. Look on the mushrooms too.
Actually, I love mushrooms. I just can't do sausage.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Nobody likes my pizza either because I eat pepperoni and anchovies, and
dude.
Anchovies on pizza are bold, man. That is bold.
I love pepperoni and anchovies.
That'll work.
Okay.
That'll work.
My second question is chipmunks or squirrels?
Well, I've had much more experience with squirrels than I have with. In fact, I don't ever think I've seen a chipmunk in real life.
I have a feeling this is about to take a bad turn.
Something about being in my shorts. I don't know which would be more compatible.
I've toured with Jeff a lot, and I see his face, and I already know.
Why do you ask that? And I'm sure it's just all for fun. Why do you ask that?
Well, I ask those particular questions for a reason. My other question I normally ask is, are you a cat guy or a dog guy? I learn a lot about an individual based on what they eat for a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what type of rodent they like and think is cute.
Well, I think squirrels are cute as hell. So are chipmunks. Again, I've never seen a chipmunk in real life. All I know is that we got.
That's too bad. I mean, those little motherfuckers run all over my fucking yard.
Oh,
I got them everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're even indigenous to Southern California. I don't think so.
They kicked them all out.
But squirrels are everywhere. So
squirrels are everywhere, and we got them running all over our trees and our yards and pissing all over things. And me and my wife were going, "Oh, aren't they cute? We're feeding them for a while." And then they started, tearing up our shit, and we said, "We're not feeding you anymore." So they started tearing up our shit more and peeing all over everything. And so,
and besides,
we got them
questions
trained
like that nobody's prepared for.
Yeah, right. It's called improv, right?
Pretty much. I warned you before we started.
It's all good. This has been a pleasure, you guys. This has been a pleasure. I love your guys' vibe. I love your style. I love everything about this.
Excellent. So with that being said, folks, we are a little over time. We want to let John get back to his busy life. I'm sure it
got to feed the
cat. It's dinner time. I think I heard his wife making dinner during the during the interview.
I think she was feeding the cats, guys. The cats probably eat better than we do. Yeah.
Right. So the cats got fed. John, maybe not so much. You might have to order a pizza.
I'm on my own. Yeah, I'm on my own with that.
So with that, let's see. Jags.
I know.
I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah, come check me out on Sound Injection, on Hellfire, and 434 Media Group. We're always interviewing bands in heavy metal and hard rock. I actually have two I want to throw out because we got some huge shows coming up. One this Saturday with the one and only Tom Hazard, who was integral in finding bands like Limp Bizkit, Papa Roach, Non-Point, worked for several big record labels. And then Halloween night, we're doing a special. We got one of the guys from Taproot joining us. So don't miss that. Watch us Hellfire or Sound Injection on Facebook or 434 Media Group.
Hell yeah.
Well, dude, Jags, where are you from, man? Where's
I am from South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay, very good. Got some very good friends there.
Nice. So, right. John, where do you like interacting with your fans on the socials?
God, I'm real lame on social media, but we have a Facebook presence, we have an Instagram presence, both for the studio and myself. Again, we have our own YouTube station, PASW TV. We've got a ton of our stuff up there. So just type in Performing Arts Studio West, and that'll take you in 100 different directions. So you just put that into a search engine, and you can find out everything you want to find out about us. And same thing with Mother Goose Reanimated. I mean, bam, put it into a search engine. It's going to send you to all the ways that you can reach us and take a look at the
including to hell.
Yes, yes, you might do. And then also the website for the you guys will probably put this up, but I'll mention it anyway. Eben, EBEN Rahl RAHL.com/MGR is the Mother Goose Reanimated website.
So there you go, folks. You have no excuse.
None whatsoever.
There's everything in the show notes, and he just reiterated to you the website. Plus, he's saying some nursery rhymes for us tonight. I mean, come on, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're here to educate as well as entertain.
Right. Jeffrey.
John, thank you very much for fucking with my childhood.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I do. I appreciate that. Now I'm going to have to read this stuff and get reacquainted, apparently. And that's okay. I think it's fantastic. I love what you did with this.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to look at it, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
But as far as us, just go to stilltoken.com or Token with the Dead on Facebook. You can Google Token with the Dead. We take up pages. It's pages. Some of it's true, some of it's not. Don't ever look
fucking true.
Don't ever look me up. Don't look me up personally. That's a bad idea.
Because that's all true.
That's a bad idea because none of that. There's a bunch of me's out there, from what I understand.
Okay.
And none of them are me. So I don't know if this is like AI robotic shit or what the fuck is going on. They don't even look like me, but they got my name. I don't even know how that's possible.
It's the cat and the fiddle.
Playing with my diddle?
No, it's the cat and the fiddle. It's John's cat and the fiddle, man. I'm just telling you, they grabbed your ass, they sucked you out of the back of a truck, and they put a bunch in the back there.
It's an abduction. It's an abduction.
Oh, fantastic. I love it.
Excellent. So, John, I just want to say, when I close up the show, just hang tight till the show's completely closed out, please, if you don't mind. We want to thank John for hanging out with us tonight, talking about Mother Goose Reanimated. I think it's dark, twisted, and perfect for everybody.
Yeah, and totally awesome.
It's got something for everybody.
Right, amazing artwork, which you've seen on my backdrops this evening. If you didn't see the sizzler reel, well, go back and watch the show.
There you go.
Or check the show notes because the sizzler reel and the extended sizzler reel links are there. I want to thank Jags for taking time out of his day. I know he's really busy, for coming and hanging out with us this evening. And to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can come up here and do what we do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out of here.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.